Hi everybody, it's Cindy at Sunshine Yoga, Pilates and More in Gilbert Town Square, Gilbert, Arizona. And today I'm going to bring to you a Pilates mat type of workout. But if you happen to have one of these stretchy bands laying around somewhere, they will come in handy because we can actually use this and mimic some of the exercises that we do on the reformer. So before we get to this, let's just do a real quick review of the basic principles in Pilates. So it all begins with the breath, of course, first. So you're going to lay down on your back. And the cues here, think chest wide, long neck, chin tucked, eyes going up toward the ceiling, and where your hip bones are, see if we can get those in a neutral alignment so you're not hiked up on one side versus the other. And just roll back and forth just a little bit with the hips and see if you can find that spot right in the center where your body likes to live 99% of the time. This is what we will call your neutral. Most people with a neutral are going to have a little space in between their lower back, which helps just for a little shock absorption and just kind of giving that back a little bit of assist. So this is great. Neutral position is wonderful when we have all four appendages on the floor. But nothing's going to drop me off this floor unless there's a huge hurricane or something, or a monsoon. We live in Arizona. So for the most part, this is considered a closed kinetic chain. I've got everything down and I am pretty secure. But what happens when we start to lift our legs up in the air, and you may have seen this at some of the gyms, that as soon as they lift a leg up in the air, another leg, all of a sudden their back starts to arch and they do all this crazy gymnastics trying to find that stability. And the stability should come from the core. So let's go back to that neutral alignment. Chest wide, chin tucked, long neck in the back, eyes going up towards the ceiling. And just breathe for me in through the nose. And then when you exhale through the mouth, pretend like you're blowing out birthday candles. So it's going to go in through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and just do that one more time. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. So the next part of this, we want to try and keep our rib cage connected. So you shouldn't have too much of a flare. I'm going to go into a breathing explanation in another video. But for the most part, just think of knitting the rib cage close together. So on that exhale, everything's connected. And you'll find once you pull those ribs together, your lower back is going to sink in towards the floor just a little bit. And this gives us a little bit more foundation, a little more stability here through our torso. And when we have this connection, then we're able to lift one leg up, the other leg up, both legs up, without going into that overextended arch in the lower back. All right? Shoulders are next. So you're going to lift those hands up towards the ceiling. We're just going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we bring them right back into neutral. So their scapula is laying nice and flat on the ground here. Inhale, protract forward. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, reach forward. So things that you can think about here are you trying to wear earrings with your shoulders? So we want to make sure that the head stays long and back. Inhale, just reach from the shoulders. Exhale, and bring it back in. Inhale. So there should be no gripping through the hips. This is all done just right through the shoulders and back in. We're going to reverse that. So you're going to squeeze back like you're pinching your shoulder blades together and then return back to neutral. Squeeze and pull back and bring it back to neutral. So it's just like the scapula is just hugging yourself behind its back and releasing. One more time and squeeze and release. We're going to take that through protraction through retraction. So reach forward, up to the ceiling, protraction, pass through neutral, squeeze back through retraction. Inhale as you reach, exhale as you come back, One more time, inhale as you reach, and exhale as you go back. Nice. And that's kind of good to go throughout the day too, especially if you're sitting in front of a computer. All right, go ahead and let's lay those hands down to your sides. So we have a long neck and back. Our chin is slightly tucked. We're going to come up slightly. You're just going to roll, and you're going to look between your knees, reach your fingertips towards your ankles, and then bring yourself down. So this is what we call an ab prep. So as you curl up, think of curling up through the rectus abdominis, the six-pack, and then come back down again. If you're feeling a lot of strain in the neck, just leave the head out of it. Your head weighs about 15 pounds, 12 to 15 pounds, and that's a lot of pressure. So if it's just too much, you need to stick your tongue on the roof of your mouth. That will kind of help alleviate a little tension through the jaw. Exhale as you reach. And bring it back in. One more time. Exhale as you reach. And bring it right back down again. So just to challenge the hips a little bit and try to keep them in a neutral position, holding yourself, let's find that imprinted position where the rib cage just gently kisses the hip bones in front, back is gently kissing down into the ground, and lift the right leg up, and then the left leg. So you're really working here through the transversalis, the deepest part of that abdominals. They're trying to keep the hips nice and steady, so we're not doing the little Shakira move side to side. Everything is just being nice and controlled movement. Only thing that we're asking those abdominals to do are just hold the hips nice and steady. Do one more each side, and back down, and last one, and back down. So we're going to challenge this a little bit more. You're going to extend your legs out. You're going to inhale, you're going to drag the heel up on the floor, and then as you exhale, you're going to take that leg out to the side. What I want you to think about doing is, if that leg drops open, we're not tilting the whole entire body over at all. We're trying to keep this left hip down into the ground as that right leg goes out. So it's not a hip flexibility, it's can you hold stability through the abdominals. There should be no movement through those hip bones. Everything should be nice and steady. The heel comes up. Use your exhale to control that movement, almost like pulling something up into the navel. So we're really working that pelvic floor. We're also working the transversalis, as well as some of those obliques are coming into play as we tilt that leg out to the side. Again, no movement whatsoever. Let's try that on the other side. Okay? So drag the heel up. Exhale as you go out. You may find you've got one side that's a little easier to control. So I had back surgery a while back, so this side is actually a little bit harder for me to hold, so my rotation is not quite as much. All right, so as I come out, just it's a little harder for me to hold on to that right side, that stability. So I'm going to give that one more time. Lifting that leg up and taking it right back down again. Very good. All right, so go ahead and grab onto your elastic band that you had, if you've got one handy, and we're just going to use this as part of our reformer. So your legs, your feet are going to go into the outside of that strap. You're going to lay right back down again. And this is one of those fancy ones. I've got like little grippy things, but you don't need it. Just do it as it fits your hands. Bring those knees in. Exhale as you go out. Inhale, pull back in. Exhale, press. So as you're doing this, make sure you're not arching your back, but you're going into that imprinted position as you kick those legs up. Bring it back in. Exhale. Inhale. Just like you're doing the footwork series on the reformer. Inhale, pull back in. Exhale, and take it out. Let's do that 2 more times. Pull back in. Exhale, and reach out. And then from here, just lift and lower. And you want to take it down to that 45-degree angle. Inhale, lift. Exhale, shrink wrap the abs, pull the ribs together, hold everything nice and tight through the core. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull the ribs together. And you should feel that through the abdominals as they're trying to hold the stability for your lower back. Good. All right, so on here, we're just going to take those feet apart just a little bit more. Bring the heels together, so you're going to look like Mary Poppins here. Frog the knees in towards your shoulders. Exhale as you go out and try and hold those heels nice and steady. Inhale, pull back in. Exhale, press and push. Inhale, pull back in. Exhale, shrink wrap the abs, pull everything together. And let's just do that one more time. And press. Good. Changing that up a little bit so have the toes facing each other so you're not kneed and pigeon-toed. You're going to bring the knees in toward the chest. Exhale as you press out. Push those heels out towards the wall or the door, wherever you happen to be, and press and push. So truth be told, this is not one of my favorite leg rotations. Probably I need to do that more often. I think that's what that means in yoga. The pose you avoid is the one you need the most. All right, one more time. Inhale here, and exhale and press out. Let's bring everything back to that neutral. Lift those legs up in the air. And this time we're going to take those legs a little bit further apart as much as we can. Around, circle, and lift back up. And around. So you're still using your abdominals this whole entire time. And around. And lift. And around. Good. One more time. And lift. Exhale. Control the movement. And then we'll reverse that direction. So lower straight down. Straddle apart. Bring it back up. I gotta get my legs a little further apart on that one. And lower down. Straddle apart. Pull back up. And drop down. Straddle apart. And back up. One more time. Lower down. And apart. And bring it together. All right, so as we go into hundreds here, holding on to your strap, legs are out, curl the head, and just press and pump with those hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Bring the knees in, and exhale, press them out. Back in, and exhale. And inhale, and exhale. And you can change those legs up. You can straddle apart, and exhale, straddle apart, and exhale. I think I got one more. Inhale, and exhale. Bring the knees in. Let the right leg come down. Let that left leg come down. Take the strap off of your hands and just hold here for a minute. Breathe in and out. And just roll over to your side. Bring yourself up to a seated position. And that was just your quick little Pilates mat class for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back for some more of the stuff on breathing and some of the basic principles. So thanks for joining me. See you soon. Bye.